So for the first time in 2 decades, the guidelines for breast cancer screening are changing. The FDA is proposing these changes as a way to help identify a woman's breast cancer risk maybe a bit earlier. Jacqueline Howard, writer for CNN Health and Wellness, is with us now. So talk us through, Jacqueline, these new guidelines.
Right, so these new guidelines basically center around better detecting breast cancer in women with dense breasts. So more than half of women over the age of 40 have dense breasts, and the FDA is now proposing for medical facilities where mammograms are performed to inform women of their breast density, because that can play a role in your mammogram screening and that can play a role in your overall cancer risk.
Okay, so we just got the answer to what was my next question, is how do you know if you have dense breasts? But if you do, how does that change things for you?
So breast density basically refers to the amount of dense tissues in your breast, and that's relative to fatty tissues. So sometimes dense tissues can obscure signs of cancer in your mammogram, and that's why it's important for you to be knowledgeable of what your breast density looks like.
So if you go in for a mammogram and you do have dense breasts, do you then have to, or should you expect to have further testing? Should they do something that's a little more intense?
You know, sometimes for women with dense breasts, your doctor might recommend additional testing. And if you're concerned about the cost of additional testing, many states require for insurance to cover additional tests for women with dense breasts. So that might come up. But overall, with these new FDA proposals, this is the perfect time to talk to your doctor about your breast density and what that means for your breast health.
Okay, but just for clarity purposes, this is something that is or is not generally, since these are new guidelines, going to be covered by insurance, because that might determine for women how invasive they may be willing to go.
Exactly, and it's really a state-by-state situation right now. So that's why, you know, for you, it's important to look at what options are available for you and what that might mean as you continue breast cancer screening. Now, it is important to note that even though these new guidelines are being proposed, this does not change the current recommendations for breast cancer screening. So the American Cancer Society still recommends for women aged 45 to 54 to screen every year. If you're older than 54, you can start screening every other year. If you're younger than 45, you have the option to screen early, and that might be due to high risk if you have a family history or other factors. So talk to your doctor about that. But overall, those recommendations are the same. What's new is that the FDA is proposing for you to have that information about your breast density and to really be aware of what that means for your health.
And can you only determine that through a mammogram?
Exactly. So you know,
you can't go to your regular doctor and say, do I need to take this, secondary precaution? You need to go for a mammogram to determine whether you do.
Exactly. And the FDA is saying that that's seen in your screening and that's what you should be informed about.